Good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. This is the 14First Alert Weather Show at 9 o'clock here, Wednesday, January, wishful thinking, June 24th. And of course, I'm watching your comments here on the 14 News Facebook page. So please weigh in here with your thoughts in just a couple of minutes. Obviously, some things have changed since I talked to you at 2 o'clock. In fact, it changed during the newscast this evening. The Storm Prediction Center has upgraded portions of the tri-state to a level 1 or marginal risk for severe weather for tomorrow and Friday. So that is a change. Not completely surprising, but still not what we want to hear. This won't be a Sunday outbreak kind of event or scenario, but a few thunderstorms, as is typical in June, may overachieve and produce some damaging winds or hail. The bigger threat, probably, or the more likely threat, will be flash flooding, because the atmosphere is going to really get juiced up, and that will allow heavy rainfall with these thunderstorms. Basically, the weather story tonight breaks out into two chapters. We've got the storm chapter here in the beginning, and then we have the heat chapter on the other end. First alert weather days there for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and that concern, of course, is for triple-digit heat indices. So let's look at all this updated stuff. So first off, the storm risk for Thursday, primarily to our north as a front kind of sags in here, but notice it pretty much picks up the northern half of the tri-state there, southern Indiana and southern Illinois. And then overnight Thursday going into Friday, it'll blow up again, this time south of the Ohio River as that front continues to sag down. And then it wouldn't surprise me to see a slight risk again on Saturday, although we don't have one showing just yet on any of the outlooks, at least not when I checked here before coming in. So here's how I think it'll play out. Most of the day tomorrow, at least the sunrise through about noon or so, should be fine, weather-free. But then by the afternoon and evening, a few thunderstorms will fire up, and during that time, a couple of them may produce severe weather. The other way these pulse-type storms can produce damaging winds is on the backside when they collapse, and sometimes you get some wind or even severe wind when that occurs, which is a little different from Sunday, where the storm, they were supercells. These are not going to be supercells, but in a supercell it gets up and it's basically sustained by inflow wind and the lift and everything else. Then we go to Friday morning. Again, scattered showers and thunderstorms ongoing, with more moving through during the afternoon and evening. And then Saturday brings another round of showers and storms. And again, a few of those might be strong to severe. Rainfall through the next couple of days is still showing up in the neighborhood of 1 to 2 inches across the tri-state. On the heels of the rain that we've had, that could be enough to cause some localized flooding out there. We don't have a flood watch for us yet, but that could change too. Then we go up to the first part of next week, and that's when the heat returns and the humidity. Really, Sunday will offer maybe a heat index over 100, but Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday look like the better bets there, with the heat index over 105 degrees. And that is usually a problem, especially for people who are doing outdoor activities or not acclimated to the heat. Think of your band camps, we have soccer camp, we have all these sports camps and just plain old camps going on, and then we have sports practices out there too. I think we do. I mean, they're practicing across the street from me every night, so of course they're doing it in the evening, which is probably smart to avoid the heat. Right now, and this is the live radar pic, we have one thunderstorm over here near Centralia, Illinois. I think that would be Washington County, maybe. And as it comes south, it will probably fizzle out. But a little broader view here, you can see closer to that cold front, we have a little more focus to the storms. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings up around Chicago. This would be down, Merrillville or Lowell, or maybe a little farther down to Rensselaer or so. And then over southern Illinois, you see how the trend there, especially as the sun goes down, these storms tend to weaken. We're at 73 right now, and around the tri-state we have low 70s. It will still be a nice evening, a cool cooler overnight, just not as cool as we had. Today we were down to a refreshing 59, and then we moved up to 82 this afternoon. So we had pretty good spread in the temperature because the air was dry. We are a bit warmer than we were yesterday at this time. Our low this morning, 8 degrees colder than normal, and the high there was 6 degrees cooler than normal. But that's all going away. We're going to get back into the frying pan here as temperatures warm up for the end of the week. So 80s and greater across the board. And no rain yet, but we will add some most certainly here in the next 3 days. For the month, we need about an inch of rain to catch up to where we should be. For the year, we need about 7.5 inches of rain to get back up. Hopefully we won't see that in one day or something crazy. The bigger picture is showing now the map. The weather has become unsettled again. We have several waves that will be moving across the tri-state. Tonight, the severe weather is relegated to western Nebraska and northeastern Colorado there. Actually, a tornado warning out to the north of Denver and then down into the Four Corners region here. I guess that's the Four Corners. This will be New Mexico. But for us, the focus will be the cold front, which will kind of do a pivot, and then as it aligns this way, west to east, the showers and storms will ride along, and the front will slow down and then probably either become stationary or lift back to the north as a warm front. So your weather, your thunderstorms are going to happen along that boundary wherever it sets up. And that's always a little ticklish too, where it will exactly set up. But the overall scenario is the same. It'll provide the path there for frequent or repeated thunderstorms. After the weekend, with 84 Saturday and 85 Saturday, 92 Sunday, you notice the rain goes away, and then we immediately warm up in a big way. The weekend, not great. I mean, to be honest with you, we will have off and on showers. So I know we've got romp going over at Yellowbank Park in Owensboro, and a lot of you like to camp and do stuff outdoors, and it'll be a little tricky to get it in without rain. You can still do your thing, it's just going to be raining at times. Through Saturday night and Sunday, rain chances continue, and then obviously we dry out, as I just told you there, and we will see a return then to more summer type weather. And this is the GFS solution for rainfall. Again, it's at around 2 inches on average across the tri-state, and that would include all the rain we're expecting between tomorrow and Sunday. The European model also keeping us wet into early Sunday, so it actually holds on to the rain a little bit longer, and then things dry out next week as the heat sets in, and it'll be too hot really to generate much in the way of showers or thunderstorms. The European also around 2 inches of rain area wide, so that gives us confidence anyway that some significant rainfall is in the offing. 66 tonight, 87 tomorrow, but again, some afternoon thunderstorms. A couple of them could be strong. The weekend is really kind of a pause there between alert days where we have storms on this end, Thursday, Friday, and then we have the heat next week. Longer range, we expect to hang on to that hot, warmer than normal, and drier than normal too. And this is Amos. Kind of looks like a black Labrador to me. But I'm not a dog guy. I can't really verify that's what it is. I know it's black. It's a black dog. Probably, that's a, you tell me. I think it's a Labrador. All right, let's have a look at your questions and comments here. Here we are. Okay. Well, we got a lot on here tonight again. Laura Gray's in there from Dawson Springs. Good to have you on, Laura. Suzanne Daly. Sherry Riley watching from Winslow, right there in Pike County. I was up in Winslow. I guess it was last year. I was at the elementary, or it might have been 2 years ago now. I was talking about the eclipse, so it was whenever that was. Anyway, Cheyenne Hammonds, as always. Good evening, Cheyenne. Glad you're on there tonight. Jeff Miller's in from the garden, probably propped up in a recliner. I can't see through this phone, but that would be my guess. Kay Smith, thanks again for Sunday. Well, I tell you, Sunday, it was really a corker, wasn't it? Now we're up to 16 tornadoes, verified by the National Weather Service. And we're going to go through them again. Not that you want to relive all that, but I'll give you some of that new information that we have. Let's see. And you know what saved the day, and I'm not doing a product endorsement, I'll only say that I'm at that age, and many of you probably are too. I wear I call them the geezer, my wife calls them the geezer shoes. I can't raise my leg that high, or I'd show you, but you know the ones that it looks like you're walking on a trestle. It's got like all these little openings in it, and it's like walking on a cloud. If I hadn't had those, I would have been flat on my back. Kind of sad I can't lift my leg up here on the table, isn't it? Probably just as well. All right, Yvonne Harrell. Is there anything at Rump? I'm not sure what they do there when it rains. I know that the performance thing has a canopy over it, and I think a lot of people take tents or canopies out there, and they'll play in the rain, I think, if there's not lightning and things. Angie Wampler's sad there's no camping this weekend. I know, I'm sorry. Tori Talbert, is Friday going to be bad? Like I said, there'll be a few storms that could become severe in the afternoon, but overall, no, it's going to be rainy. Bill Fowles, nice and cool tonight in Owensboro. Not looking forward to next week. No, nobody really is welcoming the heat with open arms. Karen Duckworth says, what time for rain in Morganfield, Kentucky tomorrow? I would think in the afternoon and evening, anytime after about 3 p.m. when we're heated up. I think that's either Gila or Yela Ashby. Owensboro's on. All right. Tina Whitehead from Petersburg. I'm coming up to Petersburg on Monday. A good friend of mine here at work, they have beehives. So I'm doing an out and about. We're going to harvest honey and see how that goes. They're promising to let me wear the thing, the hat with the screen and all. So hopefully there's not a hole in the screen. Jeremy Mercer from Crossville. All right. Good to have Crossville in there too. You guys are right in the middle of it on Sunday as well. Northern White County. Real close. Jeff Miller says he's on the couch. All right, I had him on a recliner. Well, what do I know? Very little, as it turns out, about the viewing habits of the First Alert Weather Show at 9. I'm glad you're comfortable. That's the important thing. All right, so again, just to recap Sunday and to put it into perspective, we've never had 16 tornadoes in a calendar day in June. So that's a first. The caveat here is they were predominantly weak, what we would call weak tornadoes, EF zeros and ones. Doesn't mean they're not impactful or dangerous, and as we saw, they did create their fair share of damage around the tri-state. We had two strong tornadoes. We had an EF3 that started way over here in Jefferson County. It weakened when it came across the border here into Wayne County, out to the north there of Wayne City, which would be right there. As somebody asked me why we didn't talk about that, well, we didn't talk about it because this portion of it coming into Wayne County, it had weakened below EF3. So we didn't count it as an EF3 in Wayne County. Unfortunately, we had two fatalities over in Jefferson County and 5 injuries. So we're glad, of course, that we had no injuries that we're aware of in Wayne County. And then there were two EF1 tornadoes, one near Jeffersonville and the other one down here at Sims. And then we have a mystery tornado right here. Now there's a survey crew out looking at it. That's near Golden Gate to determine the strength, the path, the length, and all that stuff. We still don't have that information. Then we go down, we had another one, what we call an unclassified. So there was wind damage out here to the northeast of Enfield, again, White County. And then as we come over into southwest Indiana, the big tornado of the night, as you know, was the EF2 that was 11.5 miles long and maximum winds of 115. Then we had an EF1 here in Mackay, so there's 57, it would be right in there. The maximum width was only 25 yards, so you're talking an incredibly small area there and 1.5 miles long. However, anything that was in that path was probably heavily damaged. And then we have the tornadoes here along Interstate 64. So we had one northeast of Linville, that was an EF0, and then Highway 60 west of Selvin, or 68 rather, west of Selvin, that was also an EF0 that was only on the ground for about a mile. The other one, 4/10 of a mile, and you can't see it here, but we had an EF1 out by Dale. Again, I think that will show up in when we go to Spencer County. Chandler, two EF1s rather, and then Newburgh was a longer tract, only 3 miles, so EF1, and we had 2 injuries with that one. And then on the other Chandler tornado, it was on the ground 2.5 miles and a little bit stronger there with maximum winds estimated at 110. There we go. Now Dale is in here. We're in Spencer County, and that was an EF1 with a maximum width of about a football field, but only on the ground for about 3/10 of a mile. And then in Grandview, and this track is being modified. That is not updated, but the survey crew quality checked the data and then made a little adjustment to it. But still, the rating stands there for Grandview. And then finally, we had an EF0 at Hawesville there along the river, and it was on the ground for 3.5 miles. So definitely one for the record books, and one we don't want to repeat anytime soon. Jeremy Mercer, I've never in my 50 years of my life seen that many tornadoes in one day, nor have I in my 62 years of life. I can't think of it almost was like a swarm of tornadoes. We've had a couple of outbreaks on those April 2nd events, 2024, 2025, and I think we had, it escapes me now, I thought I should have looked before I came out here. I think we had 11 in one day, 10 or 11, but keep in mind that was in April, and April is usually the atmosphere much more dynamic and ripe for tornadoes in the right conditions. I think I got everybody answered. I'm going to go down the stack here one more time, and I do not see anything else. Jason Dotson, watching from Cloverport. Okay, well, any storms be bad in Cloverport? Cloverport, they're in Breckenridge County, yes? I think that's right, Breckenridge or Meade, one of them, right out of our viewing area. Yeah, we could see some strong thunderstorms there tomorrow late or Friday, but we're not expecting this outbreak or line or anything like that. That's not what we're expecting anyway. All right, that's all I have for you tonight. I will try to get the data on the Golden Gate tornado here before 10. I don't think we're going to have it by then, but you never know. In the meantime, stay safe. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.